Building a new house reminds us that a home, like a life, is never finished all at once. It is shaped over time by challenges faced, decisions made, and all the wonderful people welcomed in. What we learned in building our house is that the real value isn't getting everything right, but in showing up, adapting, and staying committed to our vision. It all started with a dream of moving to a new state, buying land, and creating something truly special that we could call our own. In 2017, my husband Byron and we sold our house in Connecticut. We packed up all our worldly possessions, including our dog and 3 cats, and we boldly set out for Greenville, South Carolina. We purchased a small house in the charming town of Travelers Rest. And a few years later, we were lucky enough to buy the 1/4-acre lot that was right next door. People had warned us that building a home entails making hundreds, if not thousands, of decisions, and that it would cost more and take far longer than we had planned or budgeted for. Of course, they were right. But what they didn't know, none of us could have imagined, is that we were headed for a global pandemic and a supply chain crisis. This would make building a custom home extremely challenging, but we pursued our dream anyway. After looking through dozens and dozens of online house plans and designs, we were confused. There wasn't anything out there that we just loved. Then, we reconnected with our very good friend Brian Kidd, who had just retired from an architecture firm in Chicago. He had the skills, he had the talent and the time, and he took on our project. He took our basic concepts and ideas and turned them into a modern craftsman house with plenty of wow factor. A major step was a task of clearing the lot and pouring the foundation. Byron bought a used John Deere tractor and began to remove trees, stumps, brambles, and other assorted surprises that were buried beneath the surface of our lot. We brought in never-ending truckloads of clean fill and soil to raise and flatten the level of the lot to be in line with the street. A big disappointment came when the team at McGee Brothers arrived to pour the foundation. The McGee team began to dig up gray, slurry stuff. They dug deep and they could not reach bedrock. They tested different areas of the lot and determined the entire lot was unbuildable. The work halted. We were in shock. Was this the end of our dream to build our house? Then, a very kind and knowledgeable engineer walked over to us and reassured us this problem could be solved. He said, "We'll build it like we do houses on the beach. We'll use pylons." 2 months passed, with all work at a standstill, until the engineers came back with their solution and the materials to make it happen. I'll never forget the day when the 130 25-foot pylons were delivered. These were the size of very tall telephone poles. A day later, a 3-man crew with 2 pieces of large equipment arrived to drive these pylons into the ground until they hit the bedrock, which would allow us to secure the foundation. It was one of the most exciting days of the house build project. $50,000 later, unbudgeted by the way, Byron and I were 100% committed to this project. There was no turning back now. With the pandemic nearing its end in 2023, we found that more companies and crews were willing to work on our one-off custom project. We met Chewy and his incredible framing crew, Carlos, a concrete and flatwork master, and the team at Bradley Masonry, who did all the brickwork, and there was a lot of brick. Lasting friendships were formed with our electrician team, Brian and Jim. A retired master electrician, Jim had hand-drawn in colored pencil the entire 2-story electrical plan. Brian stayed on with us for many months afterwards to work on the interior finishing tasks, including crown molding. Finally, we moved into the new house in July 2024. Waking up each day in this extraordinary new house is like a dream come true, and indeed it is. But we're not finished yet. We immediately started in on phase 2 of this house build project, installing the pool and back garden. And that was going to entail a lot more soil, more concrete, more brick, and a lot more money. But that's another video. From time to time, we like to look back on the early photos and videos of this massive project. It reminds us that we really did come a long way, baby. And while we still may tell people we don't recommend that you build your own house, we're sure glad that we did. This project gave us far more than a house. It became part of our lives. It taught us patience when plans unraveled, resilience when the unexpected appeared, and humility in the face of what we could not control. We gained a deeper appreciation for the people whose hands, hearts, and backs shaped every inch of this place, and a renewed respect for what it means to build something together. This is a big moment. The porta potty is going bye-bye. We've had this bad boy there for about, I don't know, off and on for 3 years. It's been a wonderful public externality for our Amazon drivers, for our FedEx drivers, for our UPS drivers, for our construction workers. And it thankfully matches the house with that beautiful gray and white trim. But you know what? Bye-bye.